Hello, my name is Tola, helping you expand your consciousness. Today, we want to talk a little bit about my story, but I'd like to touch upon the one that led me to what I'm doing right now, which is inner child wound and doing the shadow works. So, as a kid, I grew up with a lot of perceptions of happiness mostly, but a little bit of trauma, which became inner child wound. Growing up, I went into a marriage. I was married for 14 years, but eventually got sour and ended up in divorce. And if you know what the story is about, my wants played out in my relationship so much, which was my abandonment issue turning into pain, anger, anxiousness, and eventually ended up dissolving my marriage. You attract who you are into your life. Obviously, my partner is never to be blamed for what happened. It's just that we attracted each other. We both had our wounds and we couldn't just survive it. So today, I'm a better person because I learned through my cycling. I called myself to order. It felt like I was sleepwalking through life for the majority part of my life until I was around 41. Okay, so I was in another relationship for almost 3 years, and then once I started feeling that perspective of abandonment, once again my shadow played, and that relationship just had to end. And that was when I started questioning so many things. And obviously before that, I was a very prayerful person. I had so many questions. My divorce didn't make any sense to me. I was a very nice person, but as nice as I was, my anger was actually playing against me. So as you see, you can have so many good attributes in life, but when your shadow comes to play, it becomes so ugly. Because your shadow, for once, you have to understand, it's an entity on its own. I remember my mom taking me to pastors and they will say they have to pray against the spirit of anger. She has a whole body sitting in her that is a spirit of anger, which is, true, because your shadows are actually an entity. They are like it's a spirit. So you have to obviously understand, as a spiritual person, you understand that you are a spirit with a soul living in this physical body, experiencing this 3D, which is very temporary. So if you understand that, your shadow is also something like you, just not visible. It's a spirit. So let's say we have anger, we have unworthiness, we have abandonment, we have shame, we have stealing, we have jealousy, we have envy, we have all this bunch of shadows. So some people have 2, they have 3, they have 4, they have 5. So you can imagine how heavy they are, how dark they are. And when they encounter the stressful situation replayed in their life, which is trauma, this shadow just comes up and overwhelms the good things they've always done. It felt like I prayed for a whole year looking for answers, and eventually God answered me. And when God answered me, it felt like my world came to a stop. When I say stop, everything stopped in my life. My relationship, my job, my businesses. The only thing God did not strip me of at that time was my health and my children. And that was what I asked Him. Like, God, I had to say, God, I am willing to learn. Whatever this lesson is, I'm willing to learn. I just don't want anything wrong with my kids, and I don't want anything wrong with my health. And He answered. Those two wishes were granted, and I had to start my healing journey. The thing about life is, when you're truly ready, the teacher appears. You don't worry about how the teacher is gonna appear, but it is gonna appear. And how is it gonna appear? Not yours to worry about, but being spiritual make you vigilant. Because what happens in your journey of spirituality is that your intuition becomes heightened. You dream, you see things as not physical. You see things, everything, spiritually. So answers can come from YouTube, answers can come from social media, answers can come from people you've seen in a very long time, or people that are constantly in your energy, your kids. Mine was my daughter. So many things happened, and I started this healing journey. And as painful as it was, meeting my inner child, I think that did that for me. Knowing what that inner child wanted, knowing what was missing, knowing what she was craving, she was yearning for. Once I faced that inner child and started my healing journey, my life became so much better. And all those feelings of anxiousness, feelings of anger dissipated, like from 100 to like maybe 2